Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome here as we get set for our 9th race of the season, getting closer and closer to All-Star Race Weekend here in the first season of the NCRA Duracell Cup Series. We are getting ready here today to go racing at the 2-mile speedway known as Michigan International Speedway. It is one of the faster tracks that we'll be going to, and it's one of the tracks as well that's kind of more spacious. I kind of similarized this to Auto Club in many ways in terms of how spacious it is, so we're going to see these drivers force the issue, especially early on. We'll see them go 3, maybe even 4 wide, and we're using the 2019 rule package here as well, so the draft will definitely come into play and definitely play a factor into whether a driver is going to be gutsy enough to make a move or not. Now, so far in this season, we have had 8 different races and 8 different drivers have gone to victory lane. So at this point in time, we are close to having half of our playoff grid filled with race winners. And we could see a 9th one go to victory lane here today as 2 drivers that have not yet found victory lane line up on the front row. Seth Cole, I believe this is Toyota's first pole of the season. I'd have to look back and find out if that is indeed the case. But he will line up on the pole position here today alongside of Zach Rogers. Rogers comes into this race second in the point stands. He's been pretty consistent the last couple of weeks. And so he's trying to get the points lead back, but he's got 30 points to make up on Jesse Turner coming into this race after Turner got a top 10 finish last week at Sonoma. Speaking of Sonoma, William Brock was the winner there, and so as said, he is currently in a playoff position, currently 7th in the overall point standings, and we'll update you on what your playoff standings look like starting off this race here today. But first, we got to go down trackside and get those most famous words in motorsports.
Drivers, start your engines!
50 laps of racing here today at Michigan. And right now, your top 10, the point standings look like this. Jesse Turner, 30 points in hand over Zach Rogers, as we mentioned. Jordan Lopez has now dropped to 3rd in the standings with Benny Watson 4th. And J Qualls, after good runs at both Springfield and Sonoma, jumps up to 5th. Charles Sandfer currently sits in 6th. William Brock, after his win last week, is 7th. Julius Andersson's had good finishes the last couple of weeks. He's up to 8th. Matthew Rodriguez 9th. And for the first time this season, cracking the top 10 in points is Levi McIntire. Now, right now, drivers that would hold playoff spots based off of wins include Jesse Turner, Jordan Lopez, William Brock, Kyle Matthews, Dylan Poteet, Jessica Shelton, and Carter Friesen. Jose Millz last week dropped back to 33rd in points. Right now, he is not in a playoff position. So that leaves 9 spots open for drivers to get in via points. And right now, those spots will be held by Zach Rogers, Benny Watson, J Qualls, Charles Sandfer, Julius Andersson, Matthew Rodriguez, Levi McIntire, Dylan Young, and Michael Norman. And we'll see how Michigan's going to come into play in today's race as well. The Backmarker Motorsports Toyota on the bottom, the Bulldog Motorsports Challenger up top. We'll see if track position is going to be important. We're going to see also if we're going to end up having numerous caution flags here today, or will we see this race turn into a fuel strategy race? For the first time in a while, we're back speedway racing as Seth Cole and Zach Rogers lead us down, and the Consumer Energy 400 at Michigan is green. Let's roll. Already forcing the issue 4 wide there. Almost looked like 4 wide around the 10th position. As they're 3 wide, about 3, 4, 5 rows deep, going down the back straightaway. Trey Wright slots into 2nd place. You're going to see the inside and outside line both work here. At inside line is the preferred line in 1 and 2. Outside line, the preferred line in turn 3, especially coming off of turn 4. Seth Cole will get himself a valuable bonus point, leading a lap. They are 4 wide further back. That's Julius Andersson taking it all the way to the bottom. We can move on J Qualls. I see Jesse Turner back there in the middle of a 3 wide formation. For now, it looks like they're keeping it together. Seth Cole out in front, keeping a pretty good distance between himself and 2nd place Trey Wright. Then you got a dogfight for 3rd, Adam Garcia, Zach Rogers. Seeing some drivers here having some difficulty early on. They're pushing up in the center of the corner. Seen a number of drivers as well have to lift going into a turn as we're 4 wide up here. This is for about the 5th position. LaPlante, McIntire, Shelton, Rogers, add Wyatt Quail into that mix as well. They're still 4 wide. Quail nearly bouncing off of Shelton. Points leader Jesse Turner's in that mix also, as McIntire is going to clear into 2nd place. And they're still 4 wide back there. Mitchell Collins, Michael Norman, Jordan Lopez, Matthew Rodriguez. These cars are dancing around in the center of the corner, and that makes me really nervous. Somehow we have completed 3 laps without a wreck, and we've got a battle for the lead. Levi McIntire to the inside of Seth Cole for the top position. I was looking back over the races we've run so far, as we watched McIntire still trying to get the spot from Cole, not going to be able to do it. I was looking back over the races we've done so far, and Ford was on a tear at the beginning of the season, but I looked at the racetracks that they ended up getting their wins at. We were at Manassas, that was a speedway. Las Vegas, that was a speedway. And Atlanta, that was a speedway. Then we went on a Chevy tear, but look at the tracks we went to when the Chevys began getting their wins. A mile track in Phoenix, a short track in Bristol, a road course in Sonoma, a dirt track in Springfield. We're back at a speedway again, so I'm almost wondering, is this the time that the Fords start to come back towards the front? Well, Levi McIntire trying to prove me right as he's still trying to make the move on Seth Cole. Not quite going to be able to do it as that outside line has them pretty well lined up. Seth Cole in a Toyota, Jessica Shelton in a Chevrolet, and Jesse Turner in a Ford. Oh, you can hear right there Levi McIntire having to play with the throttle as I think the drivers on the inside line, the car's getting tight, wanting to drift up the track, and McIntire having to lift to avoid getting up into somebody. And now Wyatt Quail's going to make it 3 wide to the inside of him. So as this stands right now, with these drivers being able to keep it together, at least for the moment, I probably just jinxed it, but if they can keep it together, we are definitely going to probably see this race come down to green flag pit stops, and I'm not necessarily certain that they're going to just be making 1 green flag pit stop. They might have to make 2. Shelton trying the bottom there in 3 and 4. Saw her have to really check up in the center of 3. Jesse Turner's going to get around for 2nd. McIntyre's going to get around for 3rd. Wyatt Quail around for 4th. Now you've got 3 Fords ready to gang up on the lone Toyota. Right here is where Levi's got to clear Seth Cole here through 1 and 2. Because if he doesn't, then that outside line gets the reference up over in 3 and 4, and he's not going to be able to make the move this time. He's got Wyatt Quail there with him, but not quite even alongside Seth Cole heading into turn 3. See if McIntire can hold it wide open or not. He tried to, it drifted up. Wait a minute. He did a pretty good job holding court there through 3 and 4. He might have Seth Cole down here into turns 1 and 2 if he can stay alongside. If Wyatt Quail stays committed, nope, Quail's going to go 3 wide. Here comes Cole Baker. He's thinking about 4 wide, but that's going to end up being for 2nd place. If Quail had stayed with McIntire there going down to turn 1, I think that Levi McIntire would have taken the lead away from Seth Cole. And now Jesse Turner's going to peel to the inside and try and get the lead here through 3 and 4. Let's see if he can hold it wide open. McIntire did a pretty good job keeping alongside Seth Cole the last lap. Nope, Turner slipped up a little bit there. Field's kind of broken up a little bit too. You got about 10, 11 cars up in the lead group, which isn't even really a group. It's kind of a fragmented group. And then you go back here, and that is 12th position Trey Wright leading this group that are 4 wide behind him. Matthew Rodriguez, James Qualls, Benjamin Miles, and Zach Rogers. Ooh, Matt Rod having to lift there in that corner. There's last week's winner not too far back, William Brock in the 88. Looking to get his 2nd win in a row. Dylan Poteet, our winner a few weeks ago at Springfield. He got trapped down that inside line. Adam Garcia using the side draft swings around the outside position. Number 10, I believe, changing hands right there. Nope, actually that was 9th. Here comes Shelton on the inside of Seth Cole. She had Levi McIntire with her, but I don't think she's going to get him. Nope, Jesse Turner And Seth Cole stronger on that outside line, and so Turner will move to second. Seth Cole continues to lead. Every lap he stays out there, out in front, is one more chance of getting that extra bonus point for leading the most laps. So far this season, it's been 3 wins for Ford, 5 wins for Chevrolet. Toyota and Dodge still looking for their first trips to victory lane. Seth Cole with that good starting track position, looking like he's the best candidate, at least for the Toyota camp right now. But I say that, and then I look back just not too far back in the tail end of this lead pack, and 2 of his teammates are up here as well. Cole Baker in the 18, J Shelly in the 71. Fanning out 3 wide again going into turn 3. That's Adam Garcia, Levi McIntire, and boy, that inside line is just such difficult area, especially exiting the corner and right in the center of the corner for these drivers to keep it wide open. J Qualls at the tail end of this pack. We talked about him. Top 10 points coming into this race. Finished top 10 last week. A runner-up finish to William Brock at Sonoma. 5th in the points coming into this race. Been very consistent to start off the season. He's got a teammate up here in Wyatt Quail, also in the 41. It's now Shelton battling with Jesse Turner. Jesse Turner already has that win in the bag back at Atlanta, so now he's just trying to be consistent, keep himself up there at the top of the point standings, and maybe ensure himself a playoff spot before we even get to the regular season finale. Whoa, Shelton got the wall. She darts to the inside there, but I think that was more a reaction move with her brushing the wall there in turn 1. That could have been very dangerous if someone had been down to her inside, as Jordan Lopez now goes to the point. Jordan Lopez a couple weeks ago was the points leader, and now he's fallen to 3rd in the standings after a couple strings of bad luck. Didn't run well at Springfield, didn't run that great at Sonoma. Now he's up here in the line. You got a couple of drivers up here in this lead pack. Turner and Lopez, Shelton, as well as D Poteet, trying to become the first 2-time winners this season. 3 wide for the lead, Adam Garcia. Can he complete the pass off turn 1? Turner's in the middle. Seth Cole up top side. Who's going to get the run down the back straightaway? It looks like it'll be Seth Cole up on the top side. We almost had a lead change. They're going to have to gang up on him on the bottom going into turn 1. That's just the only way it's going to happen. Wow, Jesse Turner got loose there in turn 3. Way up the racetrack. That might actually help him with a good corner exit. Maybe not. Nope, he's side by side for second instead with Garcia. And this group up here, back to D Poteet, who I believe is in 12th place. They're getting reeled in by this second group that had lost touch with them. William Brock, Carter Friesen, Ryan Acosta, they are catching up, and we're about to have just about the entire field back up here in the hunt to get up into the top 10. Let's actually look and see if anybody is struggling right now, and, well, no, nobody has lost the draft. They're all still up in this lead pack. Carson Gum back here with Benny Watson and Mitchell Collins, but they're still in the lead draft, so they still have a shot, especially with pit strategy. Look here, using the side draft is Wyatt Quail. Question is someone going to go down there with him? He's got Jordan Lopez with him. I think he's going to clear Seth Cole here into turn 1. First lead change of the day, and it's going to be Wyatt Quail going to the point. He made the move exactly where he needed to. Right there in turns 1 and 2, he got the run on the bottom, and he had someone to help push him. Seth Cole wants the lead back. Let's see if he can get the inside line working against Wyatt Quail. And there's your answer. Wow. You can see how the car just jerks to the left down that inside line. These guys are fighting the wheel to force their car not to go up there and run into somebody else. So Wyatt Quail now out in front. He's trying to get Joanna Atwood Motorsports their first win of the season. They were close last week with J Qualls at Sonoma, but William Brock spoiled that plan. And Wyatt Quail, let's be honest, last couple of weeks has actually been in the hunt for some victories too. He was one of the prime contenders back at Bristol when he had that great green flag battle between himself, Kyle Matthews, and T Wright. Of course, Kyle Matthews coming out on top of that race. But Wyatt Quail's been pretty strong in the last couple of weeks. He's 24th in the point standings, so his finishes haven't exactly mirrored the good runs he's had during the race. Looking strong right now, and what did I say before? 3 races that the Fords have won have been at Speedways. We're back at a Speedway, and we've now got a Ford out in front. Battle for second, Shelton in second. Garcia going to make the move to the inside for that spot. Adam Garcia coming into this race, definitely looking for a good run. Comes into this race 39th in the point standings. So far, Young Motorsports doesn't have a win yet this season. Neither does Rockin' Ranch Racing. Levi McIntire right there trying to get a spot, and he got trapped down that bottom line. He's losing positions now. And how about Cole Baker? Good run for the 18. Baker comes into this race 20th in points. Had a decent run last week at Sonoma. And right now it's Ford, Chevy, Toyota at the front of the field. Caution is out for the first time today. And it takes place on lap 19, not too far away from the halfway point of this race. Our first yellow of the day, and I'm pretty impressed that it took us this long to have a caution fly. Some great racing all the way through the field from front to back. Wyatt Quail will lead us under our first caution. This is going to be interesting because this is going to be a caution coming out with 30 laps to go. Not necessarily 100% certain what the fuel window is for these drivers, but if they come to pit road now, are they good to go the rest of the way, or will they have to stop at least one more time? Incident you see there was off turn 2, down the back straightaway. Let's see who it involved. T Wright in the 28, the only one of the Blue Oval Automotive teams that have not won yet this season. Doesn't look like he'll be winning today. J Gardner there, he's got some damage. So does J Jefferson. There's a couple of drivers that fuel has not been their best friend in the last few weeks. Gardner ran out of fuel back at Phoenix while leading, and J Jefferson ran out of fuel last week at Sonoma while leading. They both sustained some damage. Charles Sanford's got some damage. Little buckle on the front of his Coke Vanilla Chevrolet. So he was a victim in this, whatever it was. And everybody's hitting pit road. So let's jump to the 41 of Wyatt Quail and see if his team can get it done on pit road and get him back out with the lead. Ooh, Shelton ran into the back of him there. I don't know if that's going to give her any damage or not. That might actually give a little bit of damage to Wyatt Quail also. And at a track that is so aerodynamically dependent, you cannot really afford to have any damage on your race car because it could very well affect your speed. Oh, look out here, coming off pit road, contact with R Brommer. He gets away safely though, and it looks like he is going to come out still with the race lead. Jordan Lopez looks like he'll be second, Seth Cole third, and Shelton fourth. We'll rack them up for you when we come back. Let's take a look at a replay. We brought out the first caution of the day here at Michigan. We've seen them 4 wide a couple times today. This is the first time I've seen them 5 wide. That's Trent Dunham, teammate Vince Almariego, J Gardner, J Jefferson, and Kyle Matthews in a 5 wide formation going into turn 1. They were able to hang on to 4 wide, and they were close to holding on to 5 wide. But you're going to watch right here coming through the center of turn 2. J Gardner, I think, is going to drift up just enough. There might have actually been some help from Matthew Rodriguez in this as well. He might have gotten into J Jefferson's left rear. No, it was Gardner. Gardner drifted up into J Jefferson. And then they're going to crowd T Wright. And T Wright, I mean, where's he supposed to go? There's no place left to go except the wall. Gardner gets hooked. Jefferson gets down to Matthew Rodriguez, so Matt Rod got a piece of the wreck. Carson Gum gets low enough to avoid. And right there, I believe, is where Charles Sandfer, yep, right there is where he's going to get a piece of it, as does Kyle Matthews. Oh, and the 28 flipped over. T Wright was up and over here on the back straightaway. I didn't realize we had a car that flipped. A collective effort on the part of 2 Retro Racing Enterprises teammates flips over the Boy Scouts of America Green Day Ford Mustang. So we did have some other drivers get a piece of that wreck, Kyle Matthews and Matthew Rodriguez, that we did not originally know. T Wright's day is done. Don't know about J Gardner and J Jefferson, but they got significant damage, and I would definitely wonder about the buckle on the hood of that 03 of J Sandfer as well, as far as aerodynamics go. So that's what brings out the caution here for the first time today. They tried, and they failed 5 wide here at Michigan. Lights are out atop the pace car. We're going green next time by, which will leave us with 27 laps remaining in this race. I don't know just how close we were getting to the fuel window opening up for the drivers to either have to pit or be able to pit so that way they could make it the rest of the way. But now we're kind of left holding the bag with the question of, are these drivers going to be able to make it the rest of the way now after that caution coming out on fuel, or is that not the last time we will see these drivers have to hit pit road? We also have the question of, was that our only caution of the day, or will we see a caution later on here in this race? Wyatt Quail, though, his team gets it done on pit road after a little bit of some issues, after contact with R Brommer leaving his pit stall, contact with J Shelton entering his pit stall, but he still comes out P1 over J Lopes, Seth Cole, A Garcia, and J Shelton. And it's Levi McIntire, J Qualls, Jesse Turner, William Brock, and D Poteet. That is your top 10. Inside of the top 10, 4 of those drivers have been to victory lane this season already, looking to be a 2-time winner. Actually, I'm sorry, no, make that 5 of them have been to victory lane already this season. Lopes, Shelton, Turner, Brock, and Poteet. So if they get a second win here today, that would probably be a confirmed locked-up spot in this season's playoffs. Only one driver out of the race after the incident we saw off turn 2, and that is T Wright. So we have 39 drivers still running, all 39 on the lead lap, and getting ready to go into the Geico restart zone. Green flag is back in the air. Now, I am going to be curious if we go back into another long green flag run again about drivers like J Sandfer, J Gardner, J Jefferson. I mean, they all sustained some pretty significant damage as J Lopes takes advantage of the restart, and he'll go to the lead. But I'll be interested to see if those drivers are going to be off the pace, and if they are, they could very well be some slower traffic for leaders to have to deal with in the closing stages of this race. Wow, Seth Cole tried to make a dive on J Lopes. Levi McIntire was to his inside, and we nearly had a wreck there heading into turn 3. 3 wide behind the top 3 there. Garcia, Shelton, Quail. Now 4 wide. That's J Qualls making the move way down low. Slides right up in front of Benjamin Miles. Meanwhile, up front, Seth Cole trying to take the lead from J Lopes. But Levi McIntire with the Blue Oval Alliance stays up top with fellow Mustang Lopes. He's going to push him out in front. Now slots into second, and here comes McIntire. Let's see if on fresh tires if he can hold it wide open. Nope, still getting, well, actually, I was saying that they were getting tight there in the center of the corner. The back end looks like it almost snuck around on Levi McIntire there, so they might be fighting a loose condition on that inside line. Best battling right now is going on from 4th place on back. Got some new players up here towards the front. J Yepez there in the 0. Great run for him. Yepez did not have a good run last week at Sonoma and dropped 9 spots in the standings from 6th to 15th. Now trying to bounce back from that as he almost bounced off William Brock as well. They are 3 wide, almost 4 wide back here around the 10th position. Carter Friesen, our Daytona 500 winner in this mix. Matt McIntire is there as well. K Batson got some new faces that we haven't talked about yet today, trying to make a charge towards the front. And I saw him back there because he's running the the Alliance Truck Parts paint scheme, that bright yellow paint scheme, but J Gardner has lost the draft, and so he is off the pace and could very well, as I had stated earlier, be an issue for these drivers at some point in the latter stages of this race. Seth Cole with a big block there on Levi McIntire, holding on to the second position. McIntire going to switch lanes and go down low, not going to be able to do it. Wow, he really had to lift there. Now he's going to lose 3rd place to A Garcia, who swings around the outside. Seth Cole with a run. He's going to try the inside of Lopes, but nobody is with him. And I think Turner may have brushed the wall there going into turn 1. McIntire is down there, but I don't think there's anybody that's going to be able to push Seth Cole down this back straightaway to at least stay alongside the 38. Seth Cole again up there and blocking Adam Garcia this time for second place. Jordan Lopez out in front, trying to be the first two-time winner on the season. His first win came back at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Ended up winning that race under caution. Here comes Seth Cole, though. Again, another big run into turn one. He has Jesse Turner down there with him, but I don't think he had enough momentum to be able to make the move on Turner, or I'm making on Lopez rather. Oh, and he tried to block Adam Garcia that time, and Garcia was there. Seth Cole going to get boxed out on that inside line now. Garcia going to move around for second. Yepez to third. Here comes last week's winner, William Brock. A lot of people thought that win was handed to him last week, but it was a fuel mileage, fuel strategy race that William Brock worked to perfection to pick up his first win of the season. Now, he's trying to go out there and win back-to-back races as he'll go up the middle 3 wide with Garcia down low and Yepez up high. It's going to be Diego Yepez that gets the benefit, though. He's got Ryan Acosta and Levi McIntire behind him, pushing him. These three, if they stay lined up, they're going to have a heck of a run, the 38 on the front straightaway going into turn one. Yepez stays low. He might be able to drift up just in front of the 10 off of turn 4. Not quite going to be able to. Here comes Levi McIntire with a big run in the 99. He might make it 3 wide for second. Looking, and he will, well, I don't know if that was necessarily a look more than a peek. And now Ryan Acosta is going to get around for second place. Shelton going to move to third. Everybody trying to migrate to that high side. Now Ryan Acosta with a slingshot to the bottom. Nobody yet has really been able to get that inside line to work from what I've seen over in 3 and 4, and Ryan Acosta is going to be a victim of that as well. Shelton's going to try and move around for second place. Shelton, if she can get clear of the 10, she might have a big run on the 38 going here into turn 1. Ooh, up there pretty high to that wall. I don't know if she brushed it or not, but boy, that was a nice move down to the bottom. 4 wide behind her. McIntire almost down on the apron. Got to give him room there, guys. Woo! Battling so much for second going here into turn 3. Nobody's really getting the opportunity to get a run on the front straightaway going into turn 1. Oh, wait a minute. Shelton clear of traffic, and I think she might have a really good run into turn 1 here. She's going to dive it low. She'll be at least to the left rear quarter panel, and before they get to turn 1, she might have this if William Brock stays with her. Through turn 1 they go. Can Shelton keep it wide open? Oh, she's not quite clear. Lopez battles back on the top side. She almost had it timed perfectly. I think you've got to get at least alongside of the race leader before the start-finish line in order to be able to make a pass complete by the time you get through the center of turns 1 and 2. Shelton a little loose there as she drops back into the clutches of William Brock. Around the outside comes Adam Garcia, and here comes Ryan Butcher in the 24. As well as Michael Norman in the 3. So we're having some new players for sure up here at the front. How about Julius Anderson? 8th in the points coming into this race. Right there in the middle is the number 4 out of Unknown Motorsports. Great run for the Petronas Camaro. And we still have a couple of questions yet to answer. Are these guys good to go on fuel? Will they have to pit before this race is over? And another question I have is, where is the 14 of J Gardner? He's just now exiting turn 2. The field is exiting turn 4, so there's still half a racetrack between the race leader and the last car on the lead lap, J Gardner. So, at least at this point, that slower car is not going to be a factor. There's Michael Norman. This is for second place. Norman coming into this race in the final playoff position via points. Trying to build off of that and get himself even closer into a confirmed spot into the playoffs. Obviously, he would love to do that with a win here today. Seth Cole trying to get back where he started, out in front. Stuck down there on the bottom, though, as he tried to make the move for second on Adam Garcia. Let's see if there's any other drivers off the pace besides the 14 of J Gardner. Yeah, J Jefferson is off the pace. And somehow, despite the damage he got, Charles Sandfer still up in the lead pack, as is Kyle Matthews in the 42. So both those drivers, apparently they're still okay as far as aerodynamics. They haven't really made much of a charge through the field, so maybe their cars are not really strong enough right now with the damage they sustained to be able to make slingshot moves with the aid of the draft, but they at least can stay in the draft. Battle continues on for second place behind Jordan Lopez, but here comes Adam Garcia. He's going to have a big run. Oh, but it's going to be 3 wide. That might kill his momentum. Yep, he lost his wingman, Diego Yepez, to try to swing it 3 wide. If he had stayed with Garcia, Garcia might have had a shot. Benjamin Miles, that black and yellow Chevrolet, now up to 3rd place. A great run for him, a well-needed run for a driver that comes into this race 38th in points as Julius Anderson makes a move, not going to be able to get the spot. Miles might think about going up the middle, 3 wide here on the front straightaway. And R Brommer, great run today for the Dodge Challenger number 9. He had a great run last week. He got involved in the first caution of the day at Sonoma, but then battled back to finish in the top 10, and Miles might... Oh, he didn't have anybody down there to help him. Lopez had Garcia up top, and Miles almost was able to get the spot from Lopez. He'll try and tuck back up in line in 3rd place here. He's going to get trapped on that inside line, though. So too is Julius Anderson in the 4, although Miles did a pretty good job of holding it pretty steady there through 3 and 4. Holding side by side with R Brommer, so Miles did a pretty good job. I think he just showed us something that drivers can do to potentially at least keep the position through 3 and 4, and that's if they run up in that dark gray area through 3 and 4. A lot of drivers are going down to the light gray area just underneath the groove. And I think that's where they might be getting loose, getting the 2 left side tires down where there's really no tire grip. They're able to run it just a little bit higher. I think they've got a shot of at least holding steady. I mean, look at Miles again there. Well, as soon as I say that, he's right in the gray, and he's fishtailing through the corner, so that just killed that theory. One thing Jordan Lopez does not want to do is he does not want to get a huge lead, because this track is very draft reliant, and if these drivers are behind him and able to get a big run, there's going to be very little Lopez is going to be able to do to defend it, except basically just run that topside like he's been doing since we went back green. Next time by, it's going to be 10 laps to go. Still the question of fuel, and Johnny Gardner is on pit road. I don't know if this is a regularly scheduled stop for the 14. It might be, because Lopez is indicating he's coming to pit lane. So they could not make it on fuel. This race is going to come down to fuel mileage. And Lopez pits all by his lonesome. So who's got the fuel to make it the rest of the way, and who's going to have the money stop? They could not make it. We went back green with 27 to go. The pit stop's taking place with about 10 laps to go. R Brommer inherits the lead. Let's see if anybody here from this pack now is going to be coming to pit road. Oh boy, they're stacked up almost 4 wide back here. It's not going to be easy for drivers to hit pit lane if they're trapped in that middle line. We have a couple of drivers, McIntire, Shelton, and Mitchell. Cole Baker is in as well, I saw. There was someone else behind him. Matthew Rodriguez in the 57, so 5 drivers hit the pit lane this time. Lopez leaving pit road. And with them 3 and 4 wide, we could have some drivers potentially running out of fuel, unable to get to pit lane. Drivers fighting for the top side all day long. Now they're all fighting for the bottom to try and get to pit lane. It's like Garcia might be coming to pit lane. R Brommer ahead of him, I believe, is slowing up as well. So we're going to have a big pack of cars coming to pit lane this time. A whole train of them. Brommer, Garcia, Norman, Cole, Rogers, Poteet, Miles, Anderson. That turns the race lead over to the 24 of Ryan Butcher. Chris Dollerton now up to 2nd. Jose Millz, Keith Batson, Carter Friesen, William Brock, LaPlante, Qualls, Yepez. Looks like that's Turner back there. They all still need to pit. Ryan Butcher going around the outside of Cole Baker, who merged back onto the track after his pit stop. Looks like Butcher's staying out. Keith Batson's coming in, though. Batson's in, Millz, LaPlante, Qualls, Turner, Yepez, Watson, and Haas. So that leaves us, I believe, 4 cars still yet to pit, and you're looking at the 24, the 88, the 37, and the 43. Friesen and Brock, they've already got wins this season. Friesen at Daytona, Brock last week at Sonoma. Ryan Butcher, I think, might be out of fuel. Butcher is slowing. He is out of fuel right in front of Chris Dollerton. Oh, this is not going to be good. He's trying to get to pit road, and everybody's slowing up. What the heck's going on? Oh, my goodness, this is bad. How are we not under caution? How is this not a wreck? They do get back to the inside line, though. How did we get through that without them wrecking? Butcher and Dollerton both ran out of fuel right in front of the pack. Somehow, nobody wrecked them. But that's going to slow up a lot of these drivers who might have been up in the lead pack with a chance for this win. Who does the lead cycle around to now is the question. There's Lopez. He might be the race leader again. Keith Batson, it looks like, might cycle into second. But we have to wait and see if indeed Millz or Lopez is the race leader. I think he's going to be, but he's going to have a lot of company here in the final stages of this race, the final few laps. Dollerton and Butcher did make it to pit road. I am amazed we did not have a caution there. We did not have a wreck with Butcher and Dollerton running out of fuel right in front of the field. Friesen leaving pit road. He was scored the leader last time by. Lead just changed hands. So Lopez to the point. McIntire will move into second. Mitchell is now up to third. Carter Friesen trying to slot into fourth as that battle's going on between Keith Batson and Ryan Brommer. Oh, Lopez, you're going to have a couple of drivers really fast behind you that are drafting together. So Brommer's now cycled to fourth, Batson to fifth, Millz is sixth, Friesen seventh, Yepez eighth, ninth is Adam Garcia. Right now, Cole Baker is currently in the 10th position with the pole sitter Seth Cole in 11th. Then you got LaPlante, Brock, Norman, and Matt Haas. That is your top 15. Here comes McIntire, looking to make the move on Jordan Lopez. Can he make it work here through turns 3 and 4? Oh, he got a little loose, but he's still alongside. Mitchell, though, is going to stay up top side with the 38. So Lopez hangs on to the spot. It'll be 4 laps to go this time by. Ryan Brommer now up into the mix as well. Keith Batson and Jose Millz could be in there as well in the closing stages. Someone's going to make a move on Lopez. They got to do it down in turns 1 and 2. These drivers cannot rely on 3 and 4. Brommer now going to peel to the inside. Here comes Jack Mitchell as well. They're going to go 3 wide for the race lead. Yes, they are. And both drivers on the inside had to check up. Mitchell, that's going to kill momentum he would have possibly had off turn 4 to maybe make a move for the lead down here to turn 1. Levi McIntire now going to make the move for second. 3 laps to go. Can Lopez hold them off? Here comes McIntire, big run into turn 1. He's got Jose Millz with him. Well, he did not get the run he needed through that corner, though. Now Jack Mitchell going to move into second, Millz into third. You got a couple of the Blue Oval Automotive teammates up here, and both of them have been to victory lane. Mitchell now going to try it in 3 and 4 again. I don't think it's going to work. He's got to stay at least alongside him coming off turn 4. Maybe he might. Nope. Outside line prevails again. Here comes Jose Millz. Big run. Oh, what a move by Jose Millz. Crosses over. He might be able to get his teammate here into turn 1. He's going to try it. Tries to slide up in front. Tries to clear him. Nobody down there to help. Here comes Ryan Brommer down to the bottom, though. Oh, this might be the move. This might be the move for the win. With 1.5 laps to go, side by side between Millz and Lopez. Brommer there, Batson there. Millz clears for the lead. Here comes Lopez, though, battling back on the top side. He's still going to get back alongside. This isn't over. Look at Batson trying to find a way to make a move. Here comes Brommer looking 3 wide as the white flag was just displayed. We're going to go 4 wide for the lead into turn 1. Who's going to get the momentum off the corner? Lopez on the top side does, with help from Keith Batson. Can Keith Batson make a move? And if he does, can he hold it down there in 3 and 4? He needs somebody else to go down there with him. Here he goes to the bottom. Millz stays up on the top side. Lopez hanging tough there. Batson's going to hold the spot. Here comes Millz. Can Millz make a move 3 wide off of turn number 4? Come into the line. Here comes Millz, but Lopez is going to win the Consumers Energy 400 here today at Michigan. His second win of the season, and that just locked himself up a spot in this season's playoffs, the chase for the Duracell Cup Series championship. A struggling last couple of weeks after losing the points lead, and Jordan Lopez will be the first two-time winner of the season here in the Duracell Cup Series. His first win came at Las Vegas, his second win here today at Michigan. And we're back at a speedway, and the Fords reign supreme. We had 3 of them finish in the top 5, and 4 of them in the top 6. And it was a 1-2 finish for Blue Oval Automotive, a team that the last couple of weeks have really struggled, and they got it done here today. Jordan Lopez with the victory. Be interesting to see if he's going to be able to take the points lead back. Jesse Turner finished in 16th, so I don't think he necessarily is, but it'll at least make it a fight heading into next week. Jose Millz will finish the day out in 2nd. There's a driver that really needed a good run after dropping to 33rd in the points last week at Sonoma and out of a playoff spot. This will probably move him back into a playoff position now. Jack Mitchell, that's his best finish of the season in 3rd. A great run for him. Well-needed run for a driver 35th in points. Keith Batson, I don't think we've talked about him hardly at all this season. 31st in the points coming to this race. He gets a 4th place run. And R Brommer continues his good performances. Had a top 10 last week at Sonoma, top 10 this week, 16th in points. Well, this will maybe move him into the top 10 in the standings heading into next week. Great run for Levi McIntire. He'll finish the day out in 6th, so he'll stay in the top 10. Diego Yepez, he finishes it out in 7th. Last week's winner, William Brock, in 8th. Cole Baker, highest finishing Toyota driver, as he brings it home in 9th, and 10th place was Austin LaPlante. That's a driver that also needed a good performance after a couple of weeks of struggles. Adam Garcia, 39th in points, will get 11th. Matt Haas gets 12th. Julius Anderson, another consistent run in 13th. The pole sitter, Seth Cole, ran up front most of the day, but he's going to finish the day out in 14th. Michael Norman, 15th. Points leader, Jesse Turner, he's going to finish in 16th. Daytona 500 winner, Friesen, in 17th. Rest of your top 20 were Benny Watson, J Qualls, and Mitchell Collins. Number of drivers, including Poteet and M McIntire, Matthew Rodriguez, J Shelton, Zach Rogers. You see them all finish way back here. Now, the big reason was they were pretty much a lot of the drivers that were stuck behind Ryan Butcher and Chris Dollerton when the two of them ran out of fuel and had to come to pit road. They were the drivers that basically were held up. They lost positions, they lost time as a result, and that's why they all finished outside of the top 20. Ryan Butcher did manage to get to pit road and finish the day out in 27th. Dollerton also managed to get to pit road and finish the day out in 32nd position. And we had 39 drivers finish the race and on the lead lap. Only one driver out of the race, that being T Wright. He flipped and barrel rolled down the back straightaway under our only caution of the day. That is going to do it here, though, from Michigan International Raceway. Our first two-time winner of the season is Jordan Lopez, taking the checkered flag here today at the Michigan International Speedway. Hope you guys enjoyed today's race. If you did, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, become part of the crew today. We have shown you full picture results, and these are your point standings heading into next week. Next week, we're going to be going to Pikes Peak Raceway. That's sure to be a wild one. I believe that's a shorter speedway track. And now we'll see if going to a shorter track, if that's going to play into the hands of the Chevrolet drivers, because it seems like the Fords win at the speedways and the Chevrolets win it everywhere else. But until then, I've been Seth Cole, and you've been watching a production of NNSCRA Offline Racing at its best.